Okay, so competitive mode has been out for a long time for us here, the fans of TF2, but I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of lackluster. What do you think, Jade?
Well, as a really big TF2 fan, not necessarily fan, but well, as a player who has over 700 hours in the game, I feel a
My
little
life.
disappointed. I feel a little disappointed that competitive was, to be honest, a little overhyped. It wasn't really what anyone thought it was going to be, and to be honest, that kind of sucked, really.
Yeah, to be honest, to
But
be honest, to be honest, coming from the Call of Duty community, like originally I was from the Call of Duty side of the things. Yes, I know I'm a dirty whore. As a came from Call of Duty on PS3, I know I'm a dirty whore. But when I heard competitive mode coming, I honestly was gonna be like the whole Black Ops 2 competitive with you can only play certain game modes, which is true. You can only play certain game modes. You can only have certain weapons. You can only have certain attachments, and you can only have certain things like that. But with this one, there is no restrictions. There is nothing that's stopping you from being absolute rage team or just being complete troll team. There is nothing stopping you from doing that, which is both hilariously funny, but also a very huge annoyance, especially if you want to get actually into a competitive scene with TF2.
yeah, see, well, to be honest, I don't really know how competitive ranked is supposed to work, considering the fact that losing detracts experience from you. And since the majority of competitive games in competitive result in a loss for me, that's not skill. That's
Oh no,
well,
no. See, here's the thing. With me, I win plenty of matches to keep myself happy and competitive. And besides, I just have fun playing it. But at the same time, I go through a lot of matches where my team gets steamrolled because the other team has so many scouts or so many
yeah.
heavies or so many
So
soldiers or
that's
all,
what I
or
was.
all it takes is a medic with an Uber and a soldier with a direct hit and my entire team's screwed.
I think that's because the team count is so small. It's 6v6. I think that one power or pick class could literally turn the tables and completely just shit out the game, and everybody
Well, see,
has a
here's the
bad
thing with
time.
see my biggest pet peeve in competitive mode all around is the soldier that uses the direct hit. That's my biggest pet
Mm.
peeve. Period.
Well, and see,
Because
that leads into.
here's my reason why is because when you have the direct hit, nothing can beat it
Mhm.
unless you have a heavy with Natasha or a pyro who's good at air blasting rockets. Because a rocket from a direct hit fires faster and it travels faster. Last time I checked.
Mhm.
And if you get hit by it, you're fucked.
Yeah, damage increase. Oh boy.
To be fair though, it does take skill to use. To be fair,
Mhm.
because it,
Well,
it is the sniper rifle of the soldier. To be completely honestly fair, it takes a bit more skill to use it than the normal rocket launcher. But that doesn't change the fact that it is still incredibly overpowered. But to be fair, a lot of things in TF2 are overpowered. So we,
see,
we, we come down to the point where we have to figure out, okay, so what do we want in the Team Fortress 2 competitive that's going to make it better? Do we want to have it to where, okay, here's my way that we can fix this. But each of them has huge flaws
mhm,
because there's no perfect way to fix this because Valve has screwed this up already.
mhm.
We either increase the ban time for people who leave the match. We could do what CS:GO does. CS:GO, if you leave a competitive match,
You're
you
banned.
are banned outright for a week.
Yep.
Where in TF2, if you leave a competitive match, you're banned for 30 minutes, but if you leave so many times, you are banned for a month. Which is a bit of a weird jump for me, because I would think it'd be 30 minutes for like the first two, then an hour, then like 2 hours, then a week, or something like that, you know? At least that's what I would think, right?
Mhm. Well, see here. Okay, I've got something to say about competitive and the ban, and well, my 2 cents on it is, see, I've got something, an experience. I'm going to tell about a personal experience of mine playing in competitive mode. See, well, uh, I remember browsing for competitive games one day, and as per usual, I had very shitty connection. My ping would not go below 700. I was I was completely useless. So I said to myself, well, I don't want to be stuck here in a game that I can't play. So I didn't want to wait till the end of the game, being the impatient person that I am. Yes, I know. But as soon as I left, what did I get a message for? Banned for 30 minutes. Now that may not seem like a long time, but the message that it sends to me is that the the ban hammer for competitive mode doesn't really care why you leave. If you have high ping or if you
Well, see,
just
here's the problem with the
want to
high ping,
bullshit
with the whole
system.
high ping situation is because so few people play it. Because competitive mode is a joke. It really is. So few people play it that you're left with certain areas of the servers that have the best connection to most areas. Which for me, a lot of servers that I play in are in Virginia for some reason, and I'm lucky to have less than 100 ping. Most people I play with actually say and complain they don't get less than 100 ping, and there are some people, I swear, at the competitive, they will not play with any more than like 75 ping. Which is stupidly ridiculous, because I have played matches where I've had like 500 ping and I still whoop ass, and I do good.
Mhm.
I don't see why people have to have such a nice ping. I mean, if you have an issue with your ping, just go engineer, place in a sentry, start smacking over and over, and try your best to just go back and forth between the spawn door and your sentry. That's
Mhm.
my whole physiology on it. But then again, you have the whole issue of if if the enemy team has a spy, or if they have a scout with a babyface blaster, that's going to be a huge problem to fight against if you're an NG who's lagging his tits off. Even if you have a tier 3 sentry.
Mhm.
My next solution to fix the whole thing is that weapon bans. But here's the problem. In TF2, the way I see it, as much as I played it, every weapon they've had out of the how many weapons do they have now? Seriously, how many weapons? Like what, 200?
At least. And that's not even including, um,
Now,
new weapons they're adding, new abilities.
see,
Shove stop, we're looking at you.
here's the thing. You could logically you could go through and ban the most overpowered weapons in competitive mode. But then there comes the issue of those weapons are added to counter another overpowered weapon. And the list goes on and on and on to where the only really variants they're left with are probably the Girardi sniper and possibly just a reskin of the default guns.
See, and that leads us to a very important
And maybe
question.
the black box at that if you're lucky. And
Mm,
possibly the buff banners, but then again the buff banners are extremely overpowered if you don't have a different gun variant to fight against it.
mhm.
So you can't do the weapon bans, and also you can't do them for the reason of that screws up so many playstyles. You're screwing up to where you cannot have no one's just the base playstyle for the character class, which is a really bad decision.
Right.
Which I know I don't want to go into the whole TF2 is better than Overwatch or Overwatch is better than TF2
Oh,
argument,
no, no, no,
but
no. Oh,
that's
no.
what does make TF2 a bit better than Overwatch is the fact that in my opinion, is the fact that there are so many weapons that change how every character can play. There's only 9 characters, but those
Right,
weapons
yeah.
can change it so much. A good example for
There's
me.
never an old. Mhm.
A good
Nothing
example.
ever gets
A good
old.
example for me.
There's just so much variety.
Like, seriously,
You
this is
can
an
literally.
example for me. You can have people who I see that are played in competitive that are very much so underrated is Pyro, like a non-flog Pyro, Sniper, and Spy. Very underestimated. Even Engineer, they're all underestimated in competitive mode.
Mhm.
However, get the right loadout going, Pyro becomes one of the overpowered people in the world. A good archer sniper can change the entire course of the battle on a close range map. A spy is a big distraction and a pain in the ass
That's an understatement.
that can really distract the enemy team. As long as you don't use as long as you don't use your eternal reward. Oh, I hate that knife.
Mhm.
And the engineer, if you have the rescue ranger or you have the gunslinger, you are one of the most overpowered pieces of shit on the battlefield.
Yep.
Which is a good thing. The engineer should be overpowered because
Well, honestly, the engineer has it tough, so
Yeah,
overpowered is sort of a relative term.
he's hard to get going at the very beginning, but once you get him going, he's almost unstoppable.
He's
that's what's really good.
yeah, he's like a snowball rolling down a hill. You get it going, it's not going to be very fast or big, but once you get a little bit of speed going, he becomes nearly unstoppable.
And that's good.
Which,
That's the amazing thing about it.
hmm
But I don't know. Then you have the whole issue of the next thing you have to actually fix this is
hmm
class limits. How many of a certain class you can have. Now, in actual competitive TF2, the actual competitive scene, you know, the Iron Division, Bronze Division, all that, you are allowed two scouts on a
hmm
team. You are allowed two scouts. Here's my issue with that. Me personally.
hmm
Scouts are a very, very hard thing to fight for most classes. I found. And most of the scouts, for some reason, I can go in casual mode and I can knock off scouts left and right. And they're not
hmm
that much of an issue. But
But in
in competitive
competitive,
mode, they're one of the most overpowered pieces of shit I have ever seen on God's green earth.
hmm well, see,
I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. They have the same stats they do in casual mode, same everything, but they just seem so much more overpowered.
hmm
Now, if you had the whole class limit, it would be cool because you had to actually work together a whole lot more.
hmm I feel
And I
like,
can't tell you how many matches I've lost,
mhm.
and countless people have lost just because they have two or three scouts in the enemy team just going around back capping every point, while
hmm
one soldier and a medic keeps everyone else distracted or something like that.
yeah. Well, see, here's what I think they should do about the whole weapons situation and how it affects competitive play. See, different weapons give you different abilities, right? Well,
Correct?
so people say some weapons are overpowered and they shouldn't be allowed to have them. Well, this is already a thing, but banning weapons is really nothing new to the competitive scene, not at all. So I feel like that honestly needs to be
Last time I checked,
enforced more.
there's actually some competitive modes that they're not even allowed the Jarate.
Mhm. Then again, that brings up another topic of like which weapons should we ban? And you've always got the obvious ones like the
The
phlogistonator or
Flaw, the Direct Hit, the Panic Attack. Yeah,
the panic attack isn't really one that I would consider ban.
I've heard a lot of people bitching about it whenever I play it.
Mm, I don't know, maybe, but I'm thinking of weapons like the really really broken weapons like the lock and load, the
The Airstrike,
airstrike definitely,
the
uh,
Airstrike,
possibly the gunboat.
Pyro's second favorite shotgun,
Yes, the reserve
the
shooter,
reserve shooter. Just
obvious.
one
Yeah.
puff in the air, switch to that really quickly, pop. You just get almost 100 damage on them
hmm
in a one shot.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Well, see, I do the exact same strategy, but I'm not a little pussy, so I use the
See,
stock shotgun.
well, we can't do. I know this is real talk here, but then again, we start calling people names, people are gonna get mad at us. So we can't really do
Oh
that
well.
much.
Yeah, that's true.
Though
So,
there is much more fair ways to play. I'm not gonna lie. There is much more fun and fair ways to play it.
yeah, I mean, you are a pyro, which is arguably the most influential class of TF2.
Oh
I
no,
mean, he has so many uses. He's an assault class sometimes. He's a support class other times.
he's that weird class that's an all around class, but it has the ability to go in and out of almost every class there is. Period.
hmm
Like class type.
And he has a
He can be support.
yeah.
He can blow rock. He can be your meat shield. He can blow rockets away. He can extinguish you to get health back.
hmm
He can use a shotgun and be a tank, be a
hmm
short range tank. He
He can
can
even
use
suicide into a
he
group of enemies, which
yeah
may be a hated
he can
strategy, but
use all
there's
the
no
different
denying its
flamethrowers.
effectiveness. hmm
You can use all the different flamethrowers, have all sorts of different stats.
Yep.
The most fun thing about the whole pyro thing is the fact that I can use the scorch shot and I can be a sniper and shoot all the way across the map. Just
hmm
angle it up just slightly up. I can shoot halfway across the map at least,
Yeah.
and I can snipe people not only knocking them back, but also getting a random chance for a crit.
Mhm.
Because the flare will fall,
And if
because
you
the
hit them
flare will
multiple
bounce
times,
off
you can
them
also
and
get mini crits. Yeah,
exactly.
and if I mean the scorch, the same thing is though the shot still stays on the ground. So if they run back into it, they're gonna get hit again, which is the best part. Like if you think about the flare gun, the flare just dissipates upon impact with an object, but the scorch shot, its projectile stays on the ground and bounces for a few seconds and has a chance to hit another enemy. And the mini crits uh, almost increase that damage exponentially. It's a really amazing weapon.
By overall, though, I don't know how they can fix competitive mode because it comes down to people who play competitive mode.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Back when I did the whole cool and funny moments in competitive mode thing, I was not lying when I said that thing took 8 hours and 3 days to record just that small amount of footage. I was not lying. And Jay can attest to that because we ran into a lot of assholes, we ran into a lot of shitty ass maps where people just outright cheated, we ran into a few hackers. We went through hell to get you guys that footage.
Yeah, 8 hours worth of pain and suffering.
Well, at our expense of rage. Not
Yeah,
true pain and suffering, but
yeah,
gamer rage. Typical stuff.
gamer pain, mental pain, emotional pain.
Yeah. I.e., taking turns getting pissed off and laughing at each other. And
Mhm.
being pissed off.
Yeah,
But then again, so,
well,
so it comes in the whole fact of there's only one way to really fix competitive mode, and that comes down to fixing the people who play it. And there's no right way to do that because it's TF2, it's an old game, people know the strategies, and there's going to be hackers, there's going to be assholes. And what really infuriates me is the fact that there are actually people who play competitive mode that think if you don't get at least like what, maybe 3 or 4 points within the first like 2 minutes of the match, you're basically like an AFK, you're worthless.
hmm
There are some people who are like that, and I will never understand why they're like that. I will never understand because there are some people I have seen in competitive mode. I attest to this, and Jade probably seen it once present when I play with him in competitive
I've seen
mode.
it many times.
There's always been an engineer or a medic who has next to no points, or a spy has next to no points, turn right back around towards the end of the match and save the entire thing for us.
Yep.
Or save the entire thing for the enemy team.
Hell, I've been there before.
And they've had
I've
next to
been that
no
person.
points, and the entire team was calling him worthless and basically an AFK and all that crap. Turns out they saved the match.
Yeah.
Or they held back the enemy team just long enough to us to capture a new point and keep the match going on.
hmm It's sort of like
Hell, there
the
was,
story of
and
the
what's
underdog.
even worse is the fact that people in competitive are so thin-skinned just to put on top of that.
Yeah.
I shit you not, there's been matches where the enemy team was winning. They actually already had a point. Like they
Mhm.
would have won this round, and the match would have been over and done with. They left because we were actually showing a chance that we could push back, and we are capturing the second to last point
hmm
next to our base.
Yeah.
They left for that reason, which is really, really infuriating to me, because considering the fact that no one can take a beating in TF2 apparently.
Yeah.
No one can say, "Well, we screwed up."
Nobody can accept a failure, essentially.
No, no, that's not fair for us to say that, because there actually are a lot of people in competitive mode who will take a failure. They will take it like a man and just going, oh well, better luck next
Well,
time.
to be honest, a failure is all you and I have been able to get for a really long time. There will be that once, 1 in a million victory that we get, but for the most part, competitive is, well, honestly, kind of toxic to me. I'm not sure how you feel.
I'm not gonna lie, it is toxic. 'Cause it is toxic, but I do laugh at the toxicity of it because it's just so stupid how people overreact and talk so high and toity about themselves in competitive mode and all that. It's really really funny to me. It really is. Like there was one guy who I was stuck on a team with, and oh my lord, I was stuck on the same team with him like 3 times in a row. It was the most annoying thing because all he would do is go sniper or scout and hang back in the back of the map, wind charge forward, which is what a sniper should do. Don't get me wrong, a sniper should hang back in the map and, take pot shots. And yet, he had the audacity to complain about his team not pushing enough or not doing enough.
Mhm. Which honestly kind of infuriates me because
I mean, granted, this
I get
guy's
that
this
you
guy.
may main a class and you may like say, oh, this is the class that I play the most, but at the same time, that's not what TF2 is about. TF2 is about supporting your team and, if necessary, changing class in order to best support your team. So whining about a team not doing well enough while you sit there and refuse to cooperate is honestly very immature and kind of a dick move.
Oh, you have no idea. There's been one time where my the same guy that would hang back and not really help out the team whatsoever. This same guy cost the entire team a match because he was saying these very, very, very horrible comments to a person on my team, the only team medic, and no one else could switch to be medic because we were all playing a huge other vital role that needed to be done. And he pissed her off so much that she just sat there, went AFK, went to go get a thing of tea or something, and just sat there and spawned as medic. I think she actually had an Uber ready half the time, just teasing us with it. I couldn't switch from being pyro or engineer in that match because we were on the last one. We need some people to push, hold him back. But shit, I don't know. There's really no use complaining about because it's the internet. Things are just gonna always be the same. People are always gonna be assholes. People are always gonna be, shitlords.
Yeah.
And one of the things you get to learn about gaming on the internet, and I learned this back in console. I learned this again in PC. You can't change the fact that a lot of gamers are assholes. You can't change that fact.
Hmm.
A lot of gamers are assholes, but at the same time, there are a lot of good gamers out there who will cooperate, who will do all this good stuff. But there also is a lot of assholes. That will never change. So, my whole thing is you go across an asshole gamer who says you're not doing good enough, you're not doing shit for your team,
Hmm.
just mute him and go on about your day. Or, better yet, do what I do. Be an engineer, build a wall to where people can't get past you, or at least they'll have to work at really, really hard to get past you, and hold them back for as long as you can. If you held them back for even a second, you did good.
Oh.
Seriously. That my whole thing with TF2 is it is competitive and you're supposed to, actually go a bit more seriously, but you also have to have fun with it. Play it how you want to play. There's been times where me and Jade have goofed around and we won the match. we there was one time we actually went as spy and we just went around joking around, just stabbing people or hiding, and we actually won with a back cap
Yeah.
because we were being a pain in the ass to the enemy team. They were hunting for us, which is a legitimate strategy. I don't know. This is turning in from how do we fix TF2's competitive mode to let's talk about our history with competitive mode to our opinions on it. Okay, so final verdict. What's your opinion on competitive mode, Jade? Your final verdict.
Well, competitive mode
As of right now,
is
in the current update.
well, competitive mode used to when it first came out, it was broken as hell. I mean, you gotta admit, it was just all over the place, god awful, completely broken, hilariously broken. Now it's kind of getting a little bit better. Valve is starting to communicate with the community,
But
and things are getting a little bit better. But for right now, it's still got a long way to go. We may see a few good changes in the near future, but for now, that's gonna have to wait.
ironically, though, Valve is paying more attention to casual mode than they are competitive mode.
Yeah,
You'd think they would focus more on competitive mode, which was the big thing of this update, in casual mode. But
yeah.
then again, Valve is one of those companies where come in, work on whatever the hell you want, and we'll pay you. So, which is a cool thing, but also is a bad thing in another retrospect. But it's neither here nor there. My final verdict thing is competitive mode. It's not the weapons that make it a joke. It's not the game modes they picked. It's not the maps, it's the community that surrounds and plays competitive mode itself that makes it a joke. It's really that makes it makes it a huge joke. Personally, if it was me though, if I was Valve, I would look at this and I would go, we might want to have some different maps, or probably add a few extra ones, or maybe add the ability to have a the random chance to play the game mode Arena.
Mm.
Which Arena, for you guys who don't know what it is, if you guys come from PlayStation or whatever, or Xbox, and you guys play Call of Duty, basically just imagine Search and Destroy, where you have to go and kill off the entire enemy team, but there's no bomb. You basically just go and kill the entire enemy team. It's just elimination. Okay? You guys don't understand what it is and how it works. It's a hard game mode. It really is. But it's good. Though, yeah, like I said, overall, it gets. I'm gonna steal some from Angry Joe here. It gets a those stamp of wankerness. For a total of 3 out of 10, it gets the stamp of wankerness. Dear Lord. So, guys, what's your guys' honest opinion about competitive mode? Do you agree with us at all? Do you think there's really no way to fix it like we do? Do you think that we are 100% wrong and we are, oh, hoity and toity butthurt competitive players who don't know shit, who take the game not seriously enough? Whatever. Whatever you guys think, comment it down below. We want to have some interaction. We want to talk with you guys. Please do. Interaction. I love that shit. Whether it's good or bad, I want to hear it. So, want to see more talk videos like this where it's, you know, real talk? Me and Jade saying our actual opinions? Leave a like. Say so. And we will have another video out for you shortly. Maybe. Possibly. Don't know what it's going to be, though. We're kind of on the fence of what we want to post. Anyway, this has been Tyler Scratch and Jade. Have a fantastic day, darlings. That's not really me. I should say loves more often, shouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Have a fantastic day, loves. Jade,
That's
any final
great.
words?
Um. Hmm.
There's my catchphrase. Fantastic day, loves. There we go.
Hmm.
Or I'm probably gonna steal the whole thing. It's time to yiff some dicks. I'm probably gonna take that too. Okay,
Golden
Jade. Anything
gift
for
your
you?
dick.
Anything? Any final words from you?
Golden Freddy, gift your dick.
Oh God, this is my channel, folks. This is what you signed up for when you signed up and subscribed to our channel. You signed up for a bunch of dumb fucktards doing real talk and doing stupid shit in very old or very goofy games. This is what you signed up for. Hope you're happy, because I love it. Dear God.